Hey, you came back, that's good stuff.
I'm really so low.
Oh, you are?
That's good, right?
Yeah. Every while your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
It's good for you. So hot.
Oh, they don't get
They summertime.
I know, you need to be really straight.
Basically, it looked like a whole crowd, and I was like, yeah. It was even that weird. It's like you go into like a little bowl and then you just have to in the middle. So it's like you do a little bowl thing. But I used to be able to do the splits at one point, which was impressive. So, but that was years ago, so I've not been able to get right now. Well, I didn't do that.
And get back to yourself too.
Do cheerleading
I did,
at
I did.
school, so I did that for that. Well, I never did use summer school. That was the one thing I did that. I had a lot of box. I'm so tall, I'm lucky that doing one of those wrong means you fall a lot farther.
Being closer to the ground doesn't help at all. I mean,
Okay.
you'll still go bunk.
If you're up to it, they have a class on.
I think the little kids have really advantage on us.
It's kind of.
But they may not run.
It doesn't stop, you just continue.
And they fix real fast.
Sit to stretch these lines, so from the start to the end.
Yeah, kids are fine. They're made out of sawdust, rubber, and old inside.
Yeah. When I'm free, I feel, yeah, I come as much as I can, I feed your friends. No, I have a real strong wrist, and so I got these from him. Yeah, it's really nice. And they're, you know, it's adjustable, so. Yeah. Whatever you can do is well. It's not a competition. Oh, stop. Well, little Lena, she's been going forever. She's excellent. She's really good. He says that too.
we are doing music with Stay because my Spotify account says the internet doesn't work.
There's no glasses.
Only if it goes for longer than 15 minutes. Did you try turning it off and on again?
We could all sing. No.
I mean, if I start singing, all the mirrors in here will start.
Let's add some more insult to injury.
Okay. Good morning, namaste.
Namaste.
If I haven't met you before, my name is Dan. I'm glad you're joining us. I usually teach on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10. Mondays are a little bit slower and stretchier. Wednesdays get a little bit more active. Today is a Wednesday, so that's what we'll be doing. You may find a block helpful. They're in the gray tub next to the windows. You also may find a strap helpful. They're over in the box that has avocados on them next to the mats, also by the windows. This is an all levels yoga class, so I will offer a variety of different options. Usually I'll start with the more accessible version and then give you ways to progress from there. And we'll tell you that it's an option, it's the word option. I think that is it. Let's get started. Let's start with a little bit of meditation. Find your sitting bones, 2 points of pressure in your seat. And allow your spine to stack directly above those 2 points, balancing over your sitting bones. Reconnect with your breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, whisper ah. Welcome to shut or unfocus your eyes if that feels better for you. Stay with your breath to remain in the present moment. Turn to the present moment in this room. Place your right hand on your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, look over your shoulder towards the back of the room. Find a twist. Get a little deeper twist on each exhale. Exhale and release through sides. Bring your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, look over your right shoulder towards the back of the room. Exhale and release. Inhale, lift both arms overhead, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach down and forward. Release your forehead down towards your ankles. Inhale, work your hands to your right until your nose is over your right leg. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, come over to the left until you're over your left leg. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, sit up. Circle your hands behind you, clasp your hands together, straighten your elbows, look up towards the ceiling, broaden your shoulders. Exhale and release. Inhale, lift your right hand. Exhale, bend to your left, look up past your right arm towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring both arms overhead. Exhale, bend the other direction. Inhale, lift your left hand. Exhale, and release. Lean back and switch your feet. Inhale, bring both arms overhead, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release down and forward. Release your forehead down towards your ankles. Inhale, work your hands to your left. Bring your nose over your left leg. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, come to the right. Bring your nose over your right leg. Exhale, and return to center. Inhale, sit up. Circle your hands behind you, clasp your hands together, straighten your elbows, broaden your chest, look up towards the ceiling. Option to stick out your tongue and try to touch your chin. Exhale and release. Inhale, lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend to your right, look up past your left arm towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring both arms overhead. Exhale, bend the other direction. Past your right arm towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift your right hand. Exhale, and release. Extend your right leg out to the right. Bring the sole of your left foot into your inner right thigh. Place your left hand behind you and to the left. Inhale, reach your right hand past your right ear. Lift your hips, come up onto your knee. Find a stretch on your right side. Exhale, take a seat. And stretch towards your right toes. Always an option to use a strap to help you get there. Exhale, release. Inhale, and sit up. Point your left hand behind you and to the left one more time. Inhale, reach your right hand past your ear. Lift your hips, come up onto your knee. Exhale, take a seat. Reach towards your right toes. Option to add a twist by bringing your left hand to the outside of your right foot or ankle. And placing your right hand behind you. Looking past your shoulder towards the back. Exhale, release. Inhale and sit up. Switch your feet. Bring the sole of your right foot into your inner left thigh. Place your right hand behind you and to the right. Inhale, reach your left hand back past your ear. Lift up onto your knee. Lift your hips, find a stretch on your left side. Exhale, take a seat. Stretch towards your left toes. Always an option to use a strap to help you get there. Exhale, release. Inhale and sit up. Place your right hand behind you and to the right. Inhale, lift your left hand back past your ear. Lift your hips, come up onto your knee. Exhale, take a seat. Stretch towards your left toes. Option to add a twist to this toes by bringing your right hand to the outside of your left foot or ankle. Reaching your left hand behind you and looking over your left shoulder towards the back of the room. Exhale and release. Bring your feet together in front of you and your knees together. Bring your hands underneath your knees. On your next inhale, lift your feet, tip back onto your tailbone, and come into boat. Option, bring your hands out to the side for more work. If you'd like to come into low boat, inhale on the way down. Exhale, come back up to high boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. We'll do two more. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. And release. Go into a tabletop position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Spread your fingers and engage your fingertips into the mat. Exhale, arch your back like a cat. Tuck your chin, look towards your knees. Inhale, release your belly, broaden your chest, look forward, cow. Continue cat-cow with your breath at your own pace. We'll do 5 of each position, and then meet with a neutral back. If bearing weight on your wrists is a challenge, you're always welcome to come up onto your knuckles. Meet with a neutral back in tabletop position. Inhale, lift your right hand out and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle, bring your right elbow next to your left knee. Look up underneath, past your left arm towards the ceiling, come all the way to the back of your head, and work your left hand forward. For more of a stretch in your right shoulder and neck, press your right elbow down into the mat. Bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, open up to the right. Lift your right arm and your right leg. Move your left knee in and come into a side plank. For some balance, option to lift your right foot off of the mat. If you'd like to come into a back bend, option to bend your right knee and find your right ankle with your right hand. More of a stretch in that quad. Press that ankle into your hand. If you're in the back bend, inhale, open back up. Everyone exhale and return to a tabletop position. Spread your knees mat width apart, bring your big toes together. And on an exhale, send your hips to your heels. Release your forehead down towards the mat and come into a child's pose. If there's anything in today's practice that is not landing in your body, don't feel like you have to go to any particular pose.
always welcome to do something from earlier in class, from a previous yoga experience instead. This is usually my go-to position for when I'm not going to do it the rest of the class. On an exhale, return to a tabletop position. Readjust your hands and knees. Inhale, lift your left hand out and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle, bring your left elbow next to your right knee. Bring your head underneath your right arm, look up towards the ceiling, and work your right hand forward. One more, a stretch from your left neck and shoulder. Press your left elbow down into the mat. Your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Inhale, open up to the left. Lift your left arm and left leg. Move your right knee in. Side plank. Option to lift your left foot off of the floor for a balanced pose. If you'd like to come into back bend, bend your left knee. Find your left ankle with your left hands. If you're in the back bend, inhale, open up. Everyone exhale and return to a tabletop position. Inhale, turn to your right, look over your right shoulder towards your right heel, shift your hips to the left. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, look over your left shoulder towards your left heel. Let your hips go to the right. Exhale, return to center. Continue side cat motions with your own breath at your own pace. 3 of each position. Then meet with the neutral back. Come to neutral back. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg back and out. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Option to bring a blanket underneath your left knee. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, sink your hips down and forward. Find a little back bend. Exhale, send your hips back, bow your head down, straighten your right knee, and point your right toe towards the ceiling. We'll do one motion, more breath between these 2 positions. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, bring your hands together into prayer and twist to your right by bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Option to open your hands, increase your twist. Exhale, thread your front foot with your hands. Inhale, lift your right leg back and out. Exhale, bring your right knee next to your left. Bring your knees together, engage your toes into the mat. And begin to send your hips to your heels. And if you've got it in you today, sit up into a toe squat. Inhale, lift your arms forward and up. Exhale, cactus your shoulders and broaden your chest. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, cactus. One more. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, release down and kick it out. Return to a tabletop position. Inhale, lift your left leg back and out. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up and forward, sink your hips down and forward. Find a little back bend. Exhale, straighten your left knee, shift your hips back, bow your head down towards your knee, point your left toe up towards the ceiling. One motion, one breath between these two positions. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head and straighten. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale, bow your head, straighten your knee. Inhale, come forward, bring your hands together into prayer and twist to your left. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee and look up towards the ceiling. Option to open your hands and increase your twist. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Inhale, lift your left leg back and out. Exhale, release your left knee next to your right. On your next exhale, turn your toes over, send your hips back and up, and come into a downward facing dog. Release your ears between your arms and walk your dog. Inhale, lift between your hands. Exhale, walk to your hands. Inhale, lift your up halfway. Bring your hands to your shins. Work your feet back width apart. Point your toes away from each other. Exhale, come down into a yoga squat with your hands together in prayer between your knees and shine your heart forward. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, straighten your knees. Bring your feet back to hip width apart. Exhale, release into a forward fold. And plant your hands, step back into a plank, option to come to your knees. As you come down through Chaturanga, keep your elbows in close. Inhale, send your heart forward, broaden your chest, Cobra. On an exhale, turn your toes over, send your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Turn your left foot out 45 degrees. And on an inhale, come up to warrior one. Keep your hips pointing towards the front of the room. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Turn your left heel up. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, release your right foot next to your left. Come forward into a plank and down through Chaturanga. Inhale, shine your heart forward, lift your chest, Cobra. Or option to extend your elbows all the way, come to the tops of your toes, and you're an upward facing dog. Exhale, send your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Turn your toe out 45 degrees, bring your heel down. Inhale, lift your arms up and forward. Warrior one. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Turn your right heel up. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your left foot next to your right. Come forward into a plank and down through Chaturanga. Option to come to your knees. Inhale, send your heart forward, broaden your chest. Option to come all the way up into an upward facing dog. Exhale, turn your toes over, send your hips back up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, walk to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands to your shins, work your feet mat width apart. Point your toes away from each other. Exhale, come down into a yoga squat. With your hands together in prayer between your knees. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, straighten your knees. Bring your feet back to hip width apart. Exhale, release into a forward fold. Find your elbows with your hands. Get a little side-to-side motion in ragdoll. Exhale, release your hands to the mat, bend your knees. Inhale, rise up all the way, bring your arms out and up. Exhale, release your hands to heart center. Center your weight over the arches of your feet. Find an active stance while walking your hips and knees. Shift your weight over your right foot, strengthen through your right leg. On your next inhale, come into tree by lifting your left foot into kickstand onto your inner calf or up onto your inner thigh. Avoid placing your foot on your knee joint. Bring your hands either into prayer or reach them up towards the ceiling. Allow your gaze to rest on the point of the room that's not moving. Exhale and release. Take a moment to walk it out. And recenter your weight over the arches of your feet. Find an active stance by walking your knees and hips. Shift your weight over your left foot. Strengthen through your left leg and core. Inhale, lift your right foot into tree, kickstand. Inner calf or inner thigh. Hands in prayer. We're reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale and release. Walk it out. Do one more balanced pose and come into eagle. If you'd like to use a block as a prop for this, you're welcome to do so. Place either of its two lower settings to the outside of your right foot. On an exhale, send your knees forward, your hips back, and lean forward into a little bit of a chair. Shift your weight over your right foot. Inhale, lift your left leg up and over. Bring that foot around to the back of your ankle, or find that block with your toe. Inhale, bring your arms out. Exhale, cross your elbows in front of you. Either give yourself a big hug, or twist your forearms into eagle arms. Remember which elbow is on top, so that next time, you do the other elbow. Exhale and release. Take a moment to walk it out. If you're using a block, shift to the other side, to the outside of your left foot. On an exhale, release your hips and knees down into a chair. Shift your weight over your left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg up and over, and around to the back, or find that block with your toe. Inhale, bring your arms out. Exhale, cross your elbows in front of you. Give yourself a big hug, or twist your arms into eagle arms. Exhale and release. Take a moment to walk it out. Come to the top of your mat. Option to bring a block for this next one. We're going to be doing pyramid. Take a hip width stance at the top of your mat. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Keep your toes parallel and your knees straight and your hips remain towards the front of the room. Exhale, bow down from your hips. Find your block with your hands or bring your hands all the way down to the mat. If you'd like to add a twist to this, plant your right hand on the block or the mat. Inhale, lift your left hand, look up towards the ceiling. You should be finding a stretch in your left hamstring and your right calf. If your hip is not coming around to the left, you probably won't be feeling as much as you could. Exhale, release your left hand down to the mat or block. Move the block aside if you're using it. Inhale, step forward onto your left foot. Lift your right knee and arms, one-legged Tadasana. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Come into a little bit of a chair. Release your hands down into prayer, figure 4. You're welcome to remain here if you'd like to find a nice hip opener. Begin to bend from your hips, bring your heel, elbows down to your crossed leg. Pull your hands down to a block or the floor. On your next inhale, work your way back up into a one-legged Tadasana. Exhale and release into Tadasana and walk it out. If you're using a block or pyramid, bring it in front of you one more time. Find a hip width stance. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, take a step back with your left foot. Keep your knees straight, your toes parallel, and your hips towards the front of the room. So your right hip crease is coming around to the right. Exhale, bend forward from your weight, your hips. Find your block with your hands or come all the way down to the mat. Looking for a stretch in your right hamstring and left calf. If you'd like to add a twist to this, plant your left hand on the block or the mat. Inhale, lift your right hand. Bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat or the block. Move out the block to the side. Inhale, step forward onto your right foot. Lift your left knee and hands and come into a one-legged Tadasana. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Come into a little bit of a chair. Exhale, release your hands into prayer, figure 4. You're welcome to remain here. If you'd like to add a hip opener, begin bending from your hips. Bring your elbows to your crossed leg, or reach your hands all the way down to the floor or a block. Inhale, rise up all the way, and return to a one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, and release, and walk it out. Bring your big toes together and your knees together, and spread your heels a little bit apart. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, release down into a chair. Inhale, lift your right foot flamingo. Exhale, step back, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up into a warrior 2. Bring your arms parallel to the ground. Keep your gaze on your left fingertips. And readjust your feet so they form the shape of a T. Left heel in line with the arch of your right foot. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Option to bend both elbows and look for bind in the center of your back. Exhale, release your left elbow down to your left knee. Inhale, swing your right arm down and around past your right ear and reach it forward into a side angle pose. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, straighten your left knee, and reach your left hand down towards the forearm block. Triangle pose, bring your gaze to your right fingertips. Exhale. Move your hands down to frame your front foot, turn your right heel up, plant your right hand, inhale, lift your left hand, dragonfly twist. Work your left foot to the outside of your mat and point your toe up 45 degrees. Exhale, release your left hand down to the mat and come down to your elbows. Option to do this on a block. Lizard. Also welcome to release your right knee down to the mat for a more accessible version of lizard. Exhale, work your way up onto your hands. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your left knee, bring it behind your left wrist, cross your shin underneath you. Sink your hips down to the mat and come to your elbows in pigeon. If you'd like to come into full sleeping pigeon, reach your hands forward, release your forehead down to a block or the mat. If this is intense on your left knee, shift your weight onto your left hip and move your torso to the line. Bring your hand underneath your shoulders. Inhale, straighten your elbows, broaden your chest, look up towards the ceiling. Look for a stretch in your front right hip. Place your block in front of your left hand on its highest side. Begin to work your right foot and leg in. Place your left hand on the block. Turn your left shin so it becomes parallel with your right. When your right knee is about where your left big toe is, bend your right knee, find your right ankle with your right hand. Turn to the right hand side pigeon. If you'd like to exalted pose, lift your left hand. An option to come into a twisted exalted pose by switching your hands on your feet and turning to the left. Exhale, release your hands and right foot down to the mat, lift your right knee. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, release your left foot next to your right and forward into a plank and down through chaturanga. Option, come to your knees. Inhale, send your heart forward, cobra. Or extend your hands, your elbows all the way. Come to the tops of your toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, send your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Inhale, lift between your hands. Exhale, walk into your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands to your shins, work your feet back width apart, point your toes away from each other. Exhale, come down into a yoga squat with your hands together in prayer between your knees. Sink your hips down, send your heart forward. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, straighten your knees. Work your feet back to hip width apart. Exhale, release into a forward fold. Bend your knees, and on an inhale, rise up all the way. Bring your arms all the way out and up. Exhale, release your hands to heart center. Return to the top of your mat. Bring your big toes and knees together. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, come down into a chair. Send your knees forward, your hips back, and lean forward with your torso. Inhale, lift your left foot, flamingo. Exhale, step back, crescent lunge. On an exhale, come into a warrior two. Release your arms parallel to the ground. Bring your right heel in line with the arch of your left foot. Form the shape of a T. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Option to bend both elbows. Look for a bind in the center of your back. Exhale, release your right elbow to the inside of your right knee. Inhale, swing your left arm down and round past your left ear and reach forward into a side angle pose. Inhale, lift your left hand straight up towards the ceiling, reach your right hand down and straighten your right knee. Bring your gaze up to your left fingertips, triangle. Exhale, bend your right knee, cartwheel your hands down to free your front foot, lift your left heel up. Plant your left hand, inhale, lift your right hand, dragonfly twist. Work your right foot to the outside of the mat, point your toe out 45 degrees. Then on an exhale, release your right hand down to the mat and come down to your elbows. Option to do this on a block. Also option to release your left knee down to the mat for a more accessible version of lizard. On an exhale, return to your hands, lift your left knee. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring it behind your right wrist, cross your shin underneath you, sink your hips down towards the mat. Come down to your elbows. Option to release your forehead down to the ground and reach your hands forward into full sinking pigeon. This is intense on your right knee. Shift your weight off onto your right hip and move your torso to the right. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, straighten your elbows, broaden your chest, look forward and up. And look for a stretch in your left front hip. Place your block on its highest setting in front of your right hand. Begin to work your left foot in. Bring your right hand to the block. Turn your left shin to be in line with your right. And when your left knee comes about to your right big toe, bend your left knee, find your left ankle with your left hand. And turn to the left, come up in a side pigeon. Option to exalt your pose by lifting your right hand. Final option, come into a twisted exalted pose by switching your hands on your left foot. Reaching your left hand forward and turning to the right. Exhale, release your hands to the mat. Lift your left knee. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your right foot next to your left. Come forward into a plank. Come down through chaturanga. Inhale, bring your arms out to the sides and back. Lift your chest, focus. Also lift your toes just a little bit. If you'd like to come into full bow, bend both knees, find your ankles with your hands. And then send your hips down into the mat and lift your chest up. Exhale, release, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your knees, mat width apart, bring your big toes together. And on an exhale, send your hips back to your heels and come into a child's pose. Exhale, come into tabletop position. Grab your block. Work your way onto your back. Have your block accessible to you, all the way up near your shoulder area. Just eventually. Straighten your right knee. Bring your left heel in close. Inhale, press through your left heel to lift your hips. Turn them to face your right. Then bring your left knee down and across to the right. Use your right hand to help it get there. Reach your left hand out to the left. Turn your head to look at your left fingertips. And find a twist in your spine from your tailbone up through your neck. It's more important to keep your left shoulder on the mat than bring your left knee super far across. Exhale and release. Untwist, switch your feet. Straighten your left knee, bring your right heel in close to you. Inhale, press through your right foot, lift your hips, turn them to face the left. Exhale, bring your right knee down and across the left. Use your left hand to help you get there. Reach your right hand out to the right. And turn your head to look at your right fingertips. Find a twist in your spine from your tailbone up through your neck. More important to keep your right shoulder on the mat and bring that right knee far across. Exhale and release. Untwist and bend both of your knees. Bring your heels in close. Locate your block. Inhale, lift your hips. Place the block underneath your hips. Exhale, release your hips down to the block. Then inhale, lift your legs into legs up the wall. Always an option. Bring your hands to the back of your thighs for a more accessible version of this. You're welcome to find any movement from your ankles, knees, or hips, what your body's asking for. Exhale, release your feet down to the mat. Inhale, lift your hips, remove the block. Exhale, release your hips down to the mat. Inhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. And find some circles going in both directions to massage your lower back. When the time is right for you, begin to work your way down into Shavasana. Release your legs all the way out, straighten your knees. Allow your toes to point away from each other. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Tuck your shoulder blades together down your spine. Close or unfocus your eyes if that feels safe for you. And come to your breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh. Continue to stay with your breath at your own pace. And as you exhale, yourself to release tension in your body. Widen the circles around your eyes. Release your jaw and tongue. Soften your throat. And allow the front of your chest to broaden, your shoulders to melt down towards the floor. Bring your attention back to the room. Take any movement that your body's asking for. Take your time to meet in a seated position. Thank you for joining me today in this group practice. The light in me sees and respects the light in you. Namaste. A wonderful rest of your week.